Welcome to the OnlyFans Secrets Marketing Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to help both new and established OnlyFans creators learn the basics of online branding, marketing, and promotion to help you make more money with your content and maximize your time online. My name is Richard Lewis, and I have over 20 years of internet marketing experience. So let's get started with today's topic. And that topic is how to fix your OnlyFans subscription page to get more sales. Okay, so this episode of the podcast is about improving your subscription page on OnlyFans and squeezing every last bit of sales power out of it. As you know, your OnlyFans in front of the paywall page is limited, in what it can show to potential buyers. So I'm going to discuss optimization and conversion techniques that will boost subscribers to your page and get more buyers behind your paywall. Okay, so this page, the subscription front end page, is what all your hard work leads to. So this is probably the most underutilized page and that people don't pay enough attention to it because they're working so hard to get people to that page. So technically that is a landing page and it is really, really important. So I make the analogy, it's similar to, if you're familiar with baseball, someone who hits a lot of triples. Now it's great if they hit a triple and there's a bunch of people on base. So if you hit a triple and there are 3 people on base, then you send 3 people home. That means 3 runs have scored. But if you're always hitting triples and it's just, you hit the triple, you run over to third base, there's 3 more outs and it's over, then it really doesn't matter as much. It doesn't really help you as much. So for a lot of people, they are hitting those triples, but there's nobody on base. So what I want to make sure here from the podcast is that you optimize that page so that you are sending those runners home. And that basically just means that you are getting people to subscribe to the page. So the question might be, why even bother optimizing your OnlyFans profile / subscription page? All right, so you're going to think to yourself, what does it really matter what the page looks like when they get there? You're thinking, shouldn't I have already done all the work needed to sell my subscriber before they even get to that page? So the sad fact is that people change their mind about purchases, and they do so a lot. So there's been studies done, one by a company called Bar Alliance, and they found that 78.65% of e-commerce carts were abandoned before purchase. That means that over 3/4 of shoppers choose to leave a website without completing a purchase. People went to that site, they dropped items into the cart that they knew they wanted, and yet still 75% of them rolled out without getting anything. Think about that, in that industry. That's going to include companies like Amazon and Apple that spend millions or billions of dollars on advertising and creating brand loyalty and studying everything they can to get people to go ahead and make those purchases. And yet they still can't get those numbers, higher. So, what would, your OnlyFans page, be against that? Like, how much has really gone into the conversion factors for that OnlyFans page? So let's say, if we're being generous, the 3 out of 4 people at minimum are going to hit your OnlyFans subscription page, think about subscribing, and then leave. So to put it another way, imagine right now if 9 out of 10 people are going to your page and not subscribing. And by making a few changes, you could bump that up to 8 out of 10. You'd be doubling your income from the site overnight. Okay, so limited OnlyFans options means maximizing what you do have is key. So, let's be honest right now, an OnlyFans profile page is very limiting, as far as what you can do with it. As we went over in the episode about SEO and OnlyFans, you can't even edit meta information, so that people can, easily find you. So the site is generally set up in a way that you often wonder how anyone really succeeds so well on it. But luckily, with a few factors to work with, it means you really only have a few areas that you can improve on to get your conversion messages across to potential subscribers. It also means that these factors will have an outsized effect on your success on the platform. Okay, so what are the main areas to concentrate on for subscriber conversion on your page? So I'm going to list them, and then I'm going to go over them one at a time. And beforehand, I'm going to review conversion factors as well. So let's just go over the 6 different main factors that you can edit and apply here. Number 1 is your OnlyFans banner. Number 2 is your short OnlyFans bio statement. Number 3, your OnlyFans subscription descriptor. Number 4, your displayed OnlyFans stats. Number 5, your displayed OnlyFans posts and media. And number 6, what I call OnlyFans price origami, which is your ability to switch up and change your OnlyFans price, your limited time offers in a way that will be attractive to potential subscribers. Okay, so before I start talking about all of this, I want to go over some basic conversion page factors and some words and what they mean. So when I bring them up, you will better understand them. Okay, so first would be focus. So pages with one link or call to action typically convert better than those with a high number of links or a lot going on the page. So this means that visitors are more likely to take action if you zero in on one action that you want them to take. So that is focus. And then second, a big conversion factor is page speed. So the quicker that someone can get to what they want, the more likely they are to take action on the page. Now, sadly, OnlyFans seems to load slowly everywhere for everyone. So there's really not a lot of ways you can improve upon this, but it is still a factor. And I would say that where you look at it is making sure that you send people, directly to the right page, the right link, so that they're not confused. So if you, put your link wrong, something like that, and they go there, they're not going to be able to find it. So number 3 would be eye movement. If you're familiar with how a person's eye moves around a page, you will know where to put your most important information and be able to convert them better. So that is eye movement, just the way that people look at their phones, at their tablets, at their laptops, and where their eyes go on a page. Very important. And then number 4, word count. When you're trying to convince someone to buy or take action, surprisingly less words equals more user action. So most studies on web page conversion say that pages with 100 words or less do better at converting than those with 500 or more. So although we talked about SEO in a previous podcast, and most people understand that for SEO, the more words that are on a page, the better it is likely to do. When it comes to conversion, it's actually less. And again, that goes back to the focus. So you're focusing people around certain concepts. Number 5 is social proof. So this concept is that people want to see information from a source other than you, lauding your attributes or what they are about to buy. This can also be referred to as social authority, meaning if a trusted authority says good things about you, then you must be trustworthy yourself. So that is social proof or social authority. And then number 6 would be value. Those pages that can convince you that you are saving on what you are buying, or that you are offering them a lot of something as compared to another product or service, will convert better. People like to feel like they are getting a bargain or saving in some way. And then last concept is above the fold. This is the space on a web page that does not require the viewer to scroll or page down to see it. This is the area that will get the most initial attention from anyone who visits your page. So again, that's above the fold. Okay, so let's go over the OnlyFans subscription page factors that are within your control that you can make a difference on. And before I go into each of these, I just want to mention that this is all in blog form. I'm going to mention specific creators, their pages, and what they are doing with their banners, with basically their layout. So you can go to seobounty.com/116, which stands for the 116th episode, which is what you're listening to of the podcast. And basically you'll be able to see all of the images that I discuss, all of the creators that I discuss as well. And that way you can follow along. And if you're not driving or listening to this right now, or you're doing something else, feel free to go ahead again to go to seobounty.com/116. And you can see everything that I'm detailing right now. Okay, and I'm going to reference certain things as well during the episode of these creators' pages. Okay, so number one is the OnlyFans banner optimization. So what we're going to be looking here at is obviously your banner, which is very important. So you're probably asking, why am I discussing the banner and not the bio image on your OnlyFans profile as a decisive conversion factor? Okay, so first, in almost every way, the bio picture is so small that it plays only as a factor of identifying a vague outline of what you look like, and that someone is likely, on the right page. With the majority of OnlyFans users on mobile devices, the real star of the visual show on a profile page is the banner. This is where you can do a lot of different things. And I'm going to list these out. Number one, you can reinforce your brand image. Number two, you can remind the potential buyer of their desire for you. Number three, you can entice the potential subscriber to want to see more. Number four, you want to establish your social proof. And number five, you can direct the viewer's eye towards your image, making the price the last thing they see, not the first. And then number six is you can show your popularity on the platform from your desired stats. Okay, so I have given an example of a creator named Natalie Monroe, and she is on her page. Her banner is perfect. She is utilizing a picture where she does not have clothes on, but is not revealing anything, but it's letting the user know what kind of content to expect from behind the paywall. The picture is in bed, giving the potential buyer an illusion of being with her in that scene. She is not making eye contact, nor showing her face, again, as the banner format would distort her face. So sadly, banners are bad at showing anything vertical, although this is what our eyes want to see. This is what we want to see. So she manages in her banner to provide a vertical position which asserts dominance over the viewer. So her clever trick also is to use basically a box, and you can see it if you're able to look at her profile, and it says, over her areas, private parts, it says you are in the top 0.1% of creators, and this tag is over her chest area. So it is clever because it is almost too small to read, which makes the eyes desire to stare in closer at her. But also at the same time, she's establishing her brand image as a top OnlyFans creator. So their picture reminds the viewer that they desire more from her, and she draws their eyes to both her body and her popularity at the same time. This is a picture-perfect example of a well-formatted and effective banner for a profile. And Natalie Monroe is also very particularly popular, which helps. She's just 3.37 million likes. So, and she also refers to herself as the number one creator on OnlyFans, which it's hard to argue with her that she isn't one of the top. But she's doing very clever things in order to do that with her banner. And then a second example that I use is a creator named Shay Baby. And Shay Baby goes even further than Natalie on her profile in establishing her brand and reinforcing what is being stated on the rest of her profile. So she basically lets you know in bold letters that she is, and she capitalizes these, a MILF, a hot